And we're live.
Yeah, shall.
Yes, you finally got into your house then.
Yeah, I was just about to try the bin onto the window ledge onto the roof through the window, but then Jess texted me saying she was a minute away, so I thought best not.
Tommy Hinton happened to fall off a roof, and he's in Thailand now. He fell off a roof yesterday. He just sent us a picture from the hospital, just like I don't even know what he's done to himself. But I was like, I was like, soft landing, was it? And he was like, was it? Fuck. So yeah,
I reckon I could have made it. It was the only like stalling point was would I have actually fit through the window because I don't know if that window opens up fully. So
yeah, it would have been like the mouse I caught that got completely stuck in the skirting board, just like ass out. Yeah, I don't want to relive that, to be honest. That was absolutely brutal. All right, yeah, fantasy sports. I can't believe the Prem starts in
what is it?
Next week, next Friday.
Nah, it's not, is it?
Yeah, next.
What is it? Charity Shield this weekend?
Yes, it's starting a week.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting a week earlier than usual.
Yeah, sweet.
So the championship starts this weekend, and the Prem the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, like Leicester still haven't signed or sold anyone.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's absolutely mad.
I think you're going to have one of those windows where it's like out of the blue, like 2 days before it closes, Maddison and Tillman's just both randomly get sold, and then you just panic by like whatever's left.
I keep seeing Tottenham rumoured with Maddison. It's like surely not.
I can't see that.
Nah, surely not. But yeah, like Tottenham did it a few years ago, didn't they? Where they had a whole summer they didn't buy anyone, and someone pointed this out to me. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, that was a year that Tottenham got to the Champions League final. So,
is it?
You never know, mate. You never know. Yeah.
Have we got any viewers there, or Matthew?
It says we've got a couple. So yeah,
speak up. Let yourself be known.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Should we get into it? Do you want to share your screen? So I mean, time is sort of running out to make these decisions, and like I was quite confident in my first draft, and now like recently I've started going a bit all over the shop. We got Ant from Ancestor Fan Channel and Beyond the 90.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, go and check out his stuff because he's. I know you keep doing transfer videos, Ant. I feel for you, mate. It's like.
How do you feel the time on that?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you're clutching at straws, really.
But some tedious links on Twitter.
I'm sure it will all explode soon, and you'll be the first one there. And yeah, we got Pios in for the first time this season.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, he's just invited me to a draft league, which I've never done before.
Oh, is that where you have a full? Was it like 20-man squad or something?
I don't know if it's 20-man squad, but you have to all be online at the same time to pick your teams because it's like you already get. Do you know what I mean? Once someone's picked, it goes to the next person. So you all have to have different players basically.
Okay.
I don't actually know the rules. I know you might be able to let us know, but like, after obviously you do that at the start of the season, then like, what do you have to do it every single week, or like, how do like transfers work? Like, do you trade?
Oh, is it something? Because I know there's a version of the game on here called Draft, but then there's like what other people do is like the baseball like American style where you'll meet up and like pick a player, then you pick a player. Like
but I think that's how it works. You have to all be on this one, on the official fantasy one. So I think when like you have to arrange a time to all be on there at the same time to pick your teams because it's done one by one. So like I think like each time you go from back to front. Do you know what I mean? So someone will start with the last pick, and then I guess you'll start.
Right,
But so you all end up with completely different teams. Like you can't have the same
tactical as well.
Yeah, but I don't know how transfers work and stuff. I have no idea. Ant's asking, do we play Super 6? I often don't, actually. I have a few times, but I just know I haven't got a fucking hope in how we're winning. So.
Remember when I used to live with Mark on Walcott Street?
Yeah.
He did a Super 6. Obviously, this must have been about 10 years ago now. And he got 5 out of 6 correct scores. And the only one that he needed, I think it was like Swansea against Norwich, he needed, I think it was a 1-1. And then one of them scored in like the last minute. And that you would have got all 6.
No way.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can handle the heartbreak of that.
I
Though.
know.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe do it. Maybe give it a go this season. We could have a little look at how we get on each week.
Yeah, because I think there is a league for it as well, isn't there? Because you get points on like if you get the result, then you get a certain amount of points. If you get a correct score, you get extra.
Well. Yeah, he says transfer vids have been hard work. I'm not surprised, mate. Like I say, hopefully it'll pick up soon. I don't know what's going on there. Like we'll probably talk about that briefly, but yeah, Leicester.
I was reading earlier they said you ain't got any money, but I can't really.
No, I think it's mainly that our wage bill's too high, and we've got too many players because we've been in Europe, so we already wouldn't be able to register our whole squad if they're all fit. So you've got a double problem because the wages are too high, and they need to get rid of players. And Brendan basically came out and said, transfers are a two-way thing. Other clubs have got to want them, so they're paying people like Vestergaard and Bertrand and even Pratt, who I actually kind of rate, but they're paying all these players too much money, and no one wants to take them.
You're in the same position that we were 2 years ago. We're still trying to get rid of them now.
Yeah, we fucked it a bit. We're especially last summer, we've overinflated the squad with average players that we didn't really need, and it's a bit of a mess. But yeah, anyway, we got Ryan's here. Evening. Ryan recently touchdown back in the UK. So you got no excuses now with fantasy because there's no different time zone or anything. It's
back down the bowling, isn't it, Ryan?
And he needs to improve because let's face it, he was he's never a threat. Paj is there as well.
Yes, come on there. Now we're getting those viewers up.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not sure if you're subscribed. If you're not, then make sure that you are.
Yeah.
That 50.
Yeah, that goes to all of you. Give it a like and a subscribe. Zach's here, standard. Big up, Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, one of our biggest fans. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's around. How are you feeling fantasy wise? How's your team?
I'm not gonna lie. I for the first time, I've had him play around with it and stuff, but last night I went in pretty long on this, and this is what I've come up with for now. I'll sort of talk you through a few of the ones that are changeable, but I've got two drafts basically. One which is this one with the free premiums, Haaland, KDB, and Son, which obviously drastically means that the rest of the positions aren't. The defense takes a bit of the hit. I can't get a premium defender in there.
Yeah.
And my other draft is basically changing Son for Kulusevski, saving 4 mil, and then boosting up the defense. But I'm trying to go down this. I'm thinking that we know that the ownership's high for Haaland. And I'm thinking if I have KDB as well, I'm pretty sure most people won't have him or have both. That I can kind of play them off against each other. With the City assets. That's my sort of thinking there.
Yeah, I was so I've been because I didn't have, so I had Son, but I didn't have KDB. I had Son and Mahrez basically as my midfield combo, obviously with Haaland. But then De Bruyne scored 2 in a friendly the other day, didn't he? And it's what I'm now thinking is Son and as a combination, 1-on-1, I would take Son over over KDB.
Yeah, I think so.
But the combination of KDB and Kulusevski,
is
that a better combination than Son and Mahrez, or Son and Grealish, or Son and Foden?
I think definitely for game week 1 because Richarlison suspended, and Kulusevski started all their preseason on his usual place on the right. So I'm sure he'll start. Obviously, KDB will start, but like you said, the other way around, Son and Mahrez, although they've sold Sterling and Jesus, they've still obviously got an embarrassment of riches like Foden, Bernardo, Grealish.
Yeah.
So it's still not guaranteed. But if Mahrez does pick up more minutes this season, then his record's unbelievable. I was looking at it yesterday. That's the thing. If he was a regular starter, I would have him in every game, every season, basically. I just say and tweeted us out. So cheers for that, mate. Big legend.
And we've got Carl here as well now. Yeah.
Yes, Carl.
Nice. Oh, if you haven't joined the league as well, I put it in the description. Join the Foxes and Fantasy. mini league. We'll be looking at the teams all season. We'll get like, do you know what I mean? We'll get some good banter going. And
we're here every week, 5 minutes late on the dot.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you can follow us throughout the season. Get your teams in the league. We've got some plans for like some head-to-head league as well. So yeah, definitely get involved. And yeah, nice one for Total Football for being here.
Yes, Total Football.
Sound.
Good to have you there. Yeah, so with Mahrez, like I was saying, obviously like playing a full season of 90-minute games is about 3,200 minutes. So Mahrez is playing like half or just over half the amount of minutes the last sort of 3 seasons. And he's still getting, 25 goal contributions this season. Another 18 season just gone, not so good a season before. And the other thing is obviously last season he was on penalties. I know they mix it up a bit, but the majority of the time, if he's playing, he's on the pens. So
yeah. Well, like, who would you? I listed like out of those 3. Let's say like Bernardo's obviously actually a cheaper option, but like out of those, Bernardo, Mahrez, Grealish, and Foden.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing as well. It's a toss up between those because you could argue to have Grealish, you could argue to have Foden, or Mahrez. Like it's different. Like it's hard.
The start of last season, I had Foden because I was convinced with David Silva going that he was going to just slot right in there. But it didn't really work out like that. He just,
Sorry, I had Ryan's comment. You are funny to look at. That'll be chuckling. That'll be chuckling. Fair play. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, this isn't an F1 podcast, I can assure you.
yeah, exactly. Despite my despite my get up, this is strictly football. But any F1 fans are welcome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And darts as well.
Yeah, darts. Yeah, big darts fans. That might creep into the show over the course of the season as well, especially around Christmas. It can't help it. Yeah, a bit of everything.
So yeah, Foden still hasn't hit double-figure goals. Obviously close last season, but he's hitting sort of like mid-teens goal contributions, more minutes last season as well. So maybe this season could be a further breakout for him. But yeah, again, the minutes are split, aren't they, between all of these? Other than KDB when he's fit, he's starting every week. Rodri's obviously starting every week, but isn't really. Although he did get 127 points last season, I think he scored a few towards the end. But yeah, Grealish. Supposedly Grealish has been pretty on it in pre-season.
Yeah, well, the only clip I've seen is Haaland's goal on his debut, which was a Grealish assist.
But it could be any one of those on the end of that, isn't it? Like that's the thing I think that's the only thing I think with Haaland is I think Kane will probably get more goal contributions at the same price because he gets a lot of assists and he's on pens. If Haaland's on pens, then that could be massive for him as well. But they do tend to share the goals out, and that's my only concern with the City boys.
I think that's the thing. That's why I just feel like the combination. I'm starting to think now of KDB and Kulusevski more guaranteed to start and get points on a week by week basis than Son and a combination of any of those Man City midfielders. Just like that's for like consistency. I'm feeling about doing that. But obviously, you've got KDB and Son both in the same team.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I was basically trying to be as greedy as I could be and seeing how badly it affects the team, and obviously looking at the defense. I mean,
you're still hoping on the Cucurella move, like
that's it. Yeah, he's only in there if he moves to City. If not, then that would change to like Trippier probably. I'm still pretty convinced about Sessegnon. He started the 3 pre-season games, although Perisic did come on for his debut the other day, I think. I'm still
especially first week. It could well be, but I do like Trippier though. I think I've got him in my latest draft.
They've got nice fixtures actually. Let's have a quick look at Newcastle.
But yeah, it's like no Cancelo, no Trent, no Robertson, like none of those premium defenders.
No, exactly. Yeah. But my other thinking with that is if I was going to have premium, then it would probably be Trent or Robbo or both. After seeing what Chelsea have been up to in pre-season, I'm not really convinced by them defensively. Although obviously Reece James and Chilwell can score and assist. But you remember the beginning of last season, I think they didn't concede for 6 or 7 games in a row, and they were just absolutely smashing the points. But yeah, I'm not too convinced by Chelsea at the moment, so that puts me off James and Chilwell. But it probably is a bit of a mistake not having Robbo or Trent or Cancelo.
Risky. I saw Kilman scored a sick goal in pre-season.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch it. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I just saw the caption: David Kilman scores sick goal. And I was like,
but you really have. If you're being a real nerd about it, with pre-season, you could easily see the headline that Darwin Núñez scored 4, and then you watch the highlights, and they were literally gifts given to him on a plate, and any one of us would finish it. One of them, I think, it was his fourth.
On me finishing it. To be fair,
his fourth finish was a bit of you actually coming in off the left and just trying to whip it bottom right, but he didn't really get the curl, and it's more central, and the keeper just
moved out of the way
for his arms, and his penalty nearly got kept out as well. So don't tell the whole story. You need to watch the highlights for the real story.
Yeah, we've got a couple more. Ant says Kane is just a shit passing backer. Yeah, I'm sure my brother would agree with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's Greg? He'd be loving
he'd be loving that. Not a big Harry Kane fan. Daka though has been a bit on it in pre-season, so maybe one to watch out for. But I still think it's going to be Vardy starting that first game.
I still can't believe how many goals Vardy got last season. Didn't seem like he hardly played at all, but he is still right up there with goals per minute.
Yeah,
I think it's just whether is it even more likely this season that he'll only play 70 minutes or once every other week.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing. He probably will play 70 minutes, and then you will get Daka or Kelechi for 20 minutes, half an hour, or both. Maybe both if we need a goal. But that's why. I would avoid lesser strikers at least to start off with.
Yeah.
We had a question from David. Does Cucurella start for City if he comes in straight away? I was going to say, even if he does move, that would be good from a fantasy perspective. But for game week 1, there's basically no chance he'd be in the team, is it?
Yeah, because he's not going to. And with Pep as well, he always wants players time for players to sort of get used to the system and that. So yeah, he probably is right. He probably won't start to begin with. And Cancelo seems to be strong. He seems to start more on the left. Which does that make Walker an option then, who's 5 mil as well? I don't know if he's really got any competition at right back.
I've fallen into the Walker trap before.
Yeah, I know.
And then he is always a risky one to not start. And even when he does start, other than clean sheet points, he doesn't really tend to get you anything. So it's worth having the safer Cancelo option, I think.
Yeah, if you take Son out, like we said, and put Kulusevski in, you can see what you can do.
How much is a 4 mil difference in it, or 4 mil difference, which. So then you can upgrade. There was a stage last season where he was almost keeping up with Son points wise on it, obviously then scored those 2. He scored 2 hat tricks in a row, or he scored loads towards the end. But Kulusevski. Did you see that video? I didn't even see it. I don't think on the last game, but where Kulusevski tried to set him up for the I think I missed that. I saw it the other day. I was like, fucking hell, that is. Yeah, so in a normal game, that's his goal all day long.
Exactly, yeah. So the conundrum is, do I have? The thing is, if Tottenham have got a good fixture like they have the first week at home, am I going to captain Kulusevski over KDB or Haaland? That's my conundrum with this route. Is he consistent enough and reliable enough to make him captain?
Can I just say, sorry, I've only just noticed, who the fuck is Plange like?
I literally
Plange or plonge? Plonge?
I can explain any plonge, isn't it?
Who is he? I've never even.
Oh, what? He's ex-Arsenal. I've never even heard of him.
Luke Plange, I guess it is.
I did see there's a Twitter account. If I find out who it is next time, I'll give him a shout out. But he does how many minutes players have played for their teams during pre-season, and this guy got 70 minutes in one of their games the other day. So it was at the end of the day, it's the 4.5 options are terrible. So I fancied a a plonge
Yeah,
over Greenwood. Plus, I was thinking actually, it might not be a good idea to have a 4.5 striker who's highly owned like that Greenwood, who a lot of people have gone for, because if he, I don't know, gets in, if he does by some miracle get a game and gets injured, then his price might go down. So
fair play. Saying here, he scored a hat trick in one of their friendlies, I think.
Who, Plonge?
Yeah, against Ipswich. Fucking, I'm gonna have to watch those highlights after. Yeah, he scored a hat trick. Like,
yeah. Oh, there you go. See. So, yeah, but I think most people have gone with this. Well, we know they have Jesus and Haaland by their ownership, isn't it? I can't see there being too many other.
The other thing I was thinking earlier today is like, I think, especially early on in the season, you might as well go for the highest owned, because you're not going to lose. It's a safer option. Do you know what I mean? Because most other people will have those teams. So like going for like Kane over Haaland or whatever could be beneficial. But if you lose out and Haaland scores a hat trick or something, then you're going to be like behind.
That's it. It can work out either way. Yeah.
Like, I think you're better off going with the crowd to start with, like, more often rather than not, because there's no point taking any risks like early on. I think I made that mistake, like not having Salah and stuff at the start of last season.
Yeah, I think I've been building my team towards a template which can't go too wrong in terms of, I think Jesus is just going to be there all season for me. Haaland I can swap with Kane. KDB I could swap with Son unless I've got both, and then the free 8 mils you can swap those with like Saka, Sancho, Maddison. There's like loads of good players in that 8 mil bracket, and you just pick them up.
Interesting you've gone for Mount.
Their fixtures. Yeah. I noticed that he got most of his goals last season against the teams down the bottom. So Everton, Leeds, Leicester, not down the bottom of the league, but you know what I mean. An easier run of fixtures. I think he'd do better. He doesn't seem to do good in the big games.
I mean, like you say, it's different. That price range is really tricky because there's a lot you can choose from. Sancho obviously is getting a lot of props for preseason.
Yeah.
Is Rashford a midfielder or is he a striker?
Yeah, Rashford's a midfielder, 6.5. Martial the striker, 7.
Bring out the midfielders a second, actually. We'll have a little look. But yeah, even Madders is 8, and he's been on it in preseason. Like, he genuinely does look very sharp, and he was playing about, he was 5th highest last season.
Yeah, so. And you got Bowen for 0.5 more.
I think
it's going to be hard for him to replicate it again this season, isn't it?
Let's have a look at teams selected by percentage. I think Bowen, that extra 0.5, I'm guessing a lot of people are not going for that. Nah, see.
No.
Not really. He's not even in like the top. Well, let's put like Saka at 8. I'm quite surprised to see he's quite that highly selected.
Yeah, I think it's because he's on some set pieces and his position is pretty much nailed because his only competition is Pepe, who's probably going to leave, or if not, just be backup. So I guess he's pretty nailed on. A lot of people have got Neto as well. I've been following. He's scored a couple in preseason. I do like him, but he's coming back from that long injury, isn't he? So
it's just because he's like the only one who's decent at 5.5 in it, and like that extra 0.5, I think a lot of people are finding that they need it. So
there's no one decent under like 5 mil below. It's just absolute shite. So
he
is the best one in that bracket, and I think with Wolves, he is going to be the match winner and the one that like gets them through. So bonus points potential. So I can sort of understand it. I'm surprised that Bruno Guimaraes is up so high. I know he scored a few goals last season.
Yeah, I had him in a draft, and then I've just thought, do you want? Nah, like not. I think either having that extra 0.5 for Neto is worth it. Again, at 5.5, you've got Gray, Gordon, Gray or Gordon. Souček a couple of years ago would have been
Willock. I think Willock's 5. I considered him.
Yeah, Willock at 5. I did have to think about that. I still think Dewsbury Hall as well. Although the only thing with that is if I do end up putting Madders in, I'll probably take Dewsbury Hall. But he's had a couple of assists pre-season, and I'm sure he'll be starting. So at 5 mil, I think is a good option.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty hard. Once you go below sort of 8, 7.5, it gets quite difficult.
It does, yeah. Yeah, I think in the 7 bracket, you've got like Zaha, Ward-Prowse, who are like, they're going to play like every game.
Yeah.
A bit of a boring option.
Barnes is 7, and he's scored a couple in preseason as well. Like Smith Rowe 6, Odegaard 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, say maximum 6.5, but he's back in midfield, might be more of a consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah, than he was as a striker.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite surprised. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised really. It is Salah, but I thought he might be a little bit less this season just because you've got Diaz, 5 mil cheaper. And yeah, I know he hasn't proved it yet, but he does look like he's going to be a class player.
It's again, it's that 4 mil saving. Like neither of us have had Salah in any of our drafts. Actually, I think that you did the very first one, didn't you? The first one you shared on WhatsApp, I think, had him.
Yeah,
but
I just think, if you can,
7%.
Yeah.
So that's gonna. I mean, if we don't have him, that's it's risky. It's quite risky early on with him being that highly.
I think I've got to the point now where I'm looking more at the fixtures. To begin with, I was just putting in players I thought would be great for the season, but like we said, all the big teams have got good games, haven't they? The first 5-6 weeks, really.
Yeah, so you don't really. It feels like it's less important because they've all got pretty good fixtures for like a good little while. So it doesn't feel like it needs to be that much of a consideration. I know you had like 2 Chelsea defenders, didn't you, in the last team? But they obviously got dicked by Arsenal. Yeah, so that's not a good sign, isn't it? If you're getting smashed by Arsenal in pre-season.
But it's like I said, like with Koulibaly, like obviously, great defender. I mean, how do you think he'll get on in the Prem?
Yeah, me and Greg were talking about this, and like he has been standout class for a long time. So I think he will make a difference. But
I think he'll be good in home matches against like mid-table and shit opposition. But when him and Thiago Silva come up against pace like they did against us with like Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka, then I think they might find it a bit.
That's the thing. I think Chelsea, because they're obviously looking to sign one more, aren't they? So like Kimpembe or
Koundé.
Yeah, or Koundé. And then at which point, once obviously, then because Thiago Silva's getting a bit fucking old now, and what is he, like 38?
They're both like pretty much the same age, aren't they? And Koulibaly, really. I think he's older than Koulibaly, but they're not getting any younger. Their quality, like no doubt about it, but
it's gonna if they come in as a new partnership, that's gonna take a while. So you wouldn't imagine he's just gonna throw them in as a partnership like consistently. I don't know. So it's still risky. So I think. Yeah, I mean they may have a defense that might be good, but hasn't had any time to gel. In which case, you're better off going for like Liverpool or City.
That's like Liverpool. It's such a set team, isn't it? Like
yeah. As long as Van Dijk's playing, basically, then they're not going to concede many goals. Like you can be pretty sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about obviously that? I was going to ask that 4.5 option. Everyone's gone for Andreas at Fulham by the looks of it, and you've gone.
I've gone for De Silva just because I know him a little bit from his Arsenal youth days, and I checked him out when he was in the Championship. He scored double figures 2 seasons in a row. Then I'm pretty sure last season he had an injury. I don't think it was the fact that he just couldn't get a game. I think he was out for the beginning to middle of the season, and then they had a set team and couldn't get back in. Right. But realistically, he's going to be first or second probably second on the bench. So it's a complete lottery, really. That 4.5 midfielder, really.
I mean, the only defense option at 4 who could actually be a decent option is Vestergaard, but only if he moves. Because if he does move, you'd imagine it'd be to a lower Prem club where he'd be starting.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, he's not going to start, is he?
No, I think they're trying to get rid of him, but no one wants him. Like he's on like 70 or 80 grand a week, and I mean, I don't know. But he's not. He's definitely not. If he's at Leicester, I wouldn't do it. But if he moves, he'll actually be like the only 4 mil option.
I did see that you've got Castagna and Pereira both down to 4.5, and Justin.
I know. Yeah, that's tempting. I think again, the only problem is it's difficult to know which one of those is. I imagine Castagna would be the one out of those 3 who you can rely on starting nearly every game. So out of the 3, and I was thinking about it earlier actually because I've still got Tomiyasu at the moment, but Castagna might actually be a better shout there.
Tomiyasu hasn't had a game. He hasn't had a game yet in preseason, Tomiyasu, because he's still carrying like a bit of a niggle.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah, but the Arsenal defense is a tough one now with Zinchenko in, because who's going to start at left back, him or Tierney? And then I think the only one in the Arsenal defence that you can guarantee is going to start now is Gabriel, because he's the only one that plays the left centre-back role, and he's 0.5 more, because now Saliba's back. He's been looking good in pre-season, so he's going to be challenging Ben White for the right centre-back spot. And then if Tomiyasu's out, it'll be Cedric or White, probably at right back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's getting a bit tricky.
Yeah. Gabriel with a few goals last season, but obviously you pay the extra price for it. But I think because he is quite I think he scored against Leicester. He's quite a threat from set pieces.
He is a threat from, he got 5 goals last season.
Yeah.
I think it was him and Cash were the 2 best scoring 5 mil defenders last season.
Right. Yeah.
Villa got quite good fixtures.
Yeah. Sorry, we got a couple. Ryan saying Gordon could be a shout.
Is it?
I called it's probably because of the back in the Football Index days. I was talking about. I remember I Gordon.
Oh yeah, you had him in there.
Yeah, before he'd even played the game. But
he is a good player.
Everton got smashed 4-0 by Minnesota with their strongest team out, and I was reading Frank Lampard's comments afterwards, and they didn't sound it didn't sound like positive vibes at all. It sounded like they haven't got anyone to replace Richarlison, and they still haven't spent any money, isn't it? They got Tarkowski on a free, so I think they're going to be down there again.
Yeah, if you put Gordon in another team, then he is a quality player, but I just think Everton, he can't be expected to carry Everton at his age and do it all on his own. So I would be against him.
I actually think because I thought last year was a bit of a surprise to see them down there, but I think now if they don't improve the squad, then it's going to be, and Lampard still question marks. I mean, they did it by the skin of their teeth. Their record under him was still shit. So I think I genuinely think they're going to be down there. And he's also saying if you don't have Salah, then captain choice becomes tricky. That is kind of true, I suppose. I'd rather rely on Salah as a captain in the first week than Son or KDB.
Yeah. They got Fulham first game, haven't they? I think is that Fulham away? I mean, you couldn't really ask for 2 better fixtures.
Yeah,
it is. But then, I mean, the thinking with Diaz is that obviously you're going to use him to counter the Salah owners and hope that he can sort of match him, which obviously is unproven at the moment, so it is a risk. But from what I've seen of him, I just think, he can replace Mane. Mane's output. And you think Mane was 11, 12 mil as well. That's my thinking with it, and then you can use the money elsewhere. But obviously we know that Salah captain is just
It's I think I genuinely think Haaland is going to get off to a flyer. I can't see it happening any other way. When he was at Salzburg, didn't he score a hat-trick on his Champions League debut or something? And he scored the quickest goal ever in the Champions, for a debut guy in the Champions League. And
didn't he come on for Dortmund on his debut and score a hat-trick?
I think potentially, he scored. I remember, he had a really sick record for Dortmund right from the very start, because they were going to just slowly bring him into the team, I think. But then because he like started scoring straight away, they just started playing him every week.
Yeah.
So
I mean, West Ham away isn't an easy fixture by any means. So
that is the only thing.
yeah. But then you look like you've got having. I think it's Bournemouth. They got home next. Yeah.
Isn't it Bournemouth and then their first 3 home games, Bournemouth, Palace, and Forest. Like,
yeah, and that's the other reason why I'm thinking I need to have KDB and Haaland because they are top-notch fixtures.
But if you have KDB and Haaland, you're not having Salah as well, isn't it? Is it like?
I'm resigned to not having Salah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. If Diaz was like 10 mil, it would be a bit more of a tricky decision.
Yeah.
But if he's 8, it's just like it's 5 mil cheaper. Do you know what I mean? That's nearly a whole player. Like.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty much the first name on my team sheet, Diaz, just because of what I saw.
Same here, but we might pay for it, man. If Salah, like if Rai says, if Salah scores a fucking hat trick first game week against Fulham, we're gonna be in the shit like straight away.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit concerning.
Yeah.
There's. I'm questioning myself more and more because it's like there are that like you can go quite a few different ways with it. Even though, like, obviously, I think Haaland, Jesus, and probably Trent, although I don't have him in mind, it's going to be like in pretty much every team.
Mm-hmm.
But then around that, there are a lot of different ways you can go.
Yeah, I guess with having Haaland and KDB, it might be a bit of a waste because if I had to captain one of the two, I'd probably captain KDB because his point potential is more in terms of he can get a clean sheet. He's more likely for bonus. So then I'm forking out 11.5 for someone that if he only scores 1 goal or even 2 goals, if you don't get any bonus, then this is what I've always said about strikers. They're not that great value, but I think with him, it's like an exception.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just changing screen. So yeah, I'm sharing mine now. Which, to be honest, it hasn't changed that much since last week. But I didn't have Mahrez. So I think I had Coutinho.
Yeah, you did.
Which I upgraded to Mahrez, and then I had to save some money elsewhere. So, I brought in Trippier for Perisic. I thought I've kind of taken your advice on that. I think it is a bit risky at the start. And I think Trippier is obviously going to be like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on pens. He'll definitely be on free kicks. I think he's captain. So,
yeah.
He was injured, obviously, wasn't he? But yeah, I think it's hard to look past him. And they were keeping loads of clean sheets at the back end of last season as well.
Yeah. I think the other dodgy thing with putting your eggs in the 2 strikers basket is that obviously you're going to need to either play like formation wise. So, for example, you've got Neto and Dewsbury Hall. Say that. I mean, what are you thinking with that? Are you thinking 5-3-2 or 4-4-2?
So I had Tomiyasu, who I've just taken out for Castagna, and in my lineup, I think I was playing 4-4-2 with Dewsbury Hall, but that was because it was because I benched Tomiyasu, but arguably Dewsbury Hall or I didn't say the change, but Dewsbury Hall or Castagna, a bit of a toss up. I suppose we could get a clean sheet that game at home to Brentford. You would expect us to, really. I mean, like,
there's no Eriksen there anymore creating. I'm not sure who they've got really creating.
Yeah, they might have a bit of second season syndrome. I wouldn't be surprised. I think they'll struggle more this year than they did last. Remember Sheffield United, like the way that they had similarly good season the first season, and the second season they're absolute shite. So that could happen, I think. But that still relies on us, winning with a clean sheet, which I'm not sure. I do like the Dewsbury Hall at 5 mil. But yeah, I got Neto on the bench in this. I don't know. Because I see what you're saying. Like, you'd probably be better off having 4 solid midfielders. I tend to prefer 4-4-2 than 3-5-2. I always have.
Are you not having a bit of Nico Williams at 4?
I did consider it. Yeah.
'Cause I'm kind of thinking with the money they've spent on him, he's going to be starting, and I can put him first on the bench. And if they do something, then great. If they don't, it'll get me a little 2 points, and then I can boost up my first 11 a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna have a defend. If you want to play 4-4-2, then you're gonna have a defender. Like sometimes they even play 3 at the back. So, it does make sense to have a 4-mil in there. Because so the same with Neto. If I'm benching him, is there any point in me spending 5.5?
Well, exactly, yeah.
But let me just go for this route that I'm thinking of going down anyway. So going Kulusevski and KDB.
Yeah.
KDB, let's not forget, scored 4 goals as your triple captain.
Yeah.
At the end of last season. So do you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to avoid him, really.
Yeah. I've seen him as well get 3 bonus points in like a game that they've won 5-0, and he hasn't scored or assisted, or maybe he's got 1 assist and he's still got all 3 bonus points just because what he does.
He just gets the ball all the time. He's whipping them in and yeah. But so if I save that 0.5 at the back, though, where could I spend that? I mean, I suppose I could upgrade Neto. That's fair. I could upgrade Neto to a 6, but that would basically be Guimaraes or
like Martinelli, maybe. But again, his time is probably going to get split with Smith Rowe. So I think it's still just outside of the reliable options like Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
I guess you could.
Benrahma. Gallagher, obviously, I don't think is going to play unless he moves somewhere. So, I don't know. It's like...
Still not a great bracket, is it?
No. So then, like...
You could shave 0.5 off of Mendy, but he is probably quite good value at 5 and get 4.5 keeps. But, I mean, he could be good, Mendy, because if Chelsea are conceding a lot of chances, he is a good shot stopper. So he could pick up some save and bonus points.
Yeah. And like, wasn't there, I think I sent you on WhatsApp, was it? It was Leicester and someone else. Was it? I can't remember who it was, but if you kept switching the keepers for the first like 10 games.
Oh, yeah.
Fantasy posted it on Twitter, and it was like, if you had, Michael, and I can't remember who the other one is.
Yeah. I think with those accounts on Twitter that like, you can switch between these like ones the first few weeks. It's like, that's all well and good saying that now, but after the first game week, that might, or 2 game weeks, that might completely change if, you see some team that you thought was actually going to be doing quite well.
Yeah.
Little confidence in getting battered, then that changes everything.
Yeah.
I'm not too into like planning too far ahead.
That's the other thing though, as well, is like, I could go the other way, and instead of saving money on Mendy, I could go Alisson or Lloris. Not Lloris, Alisson or Edison.
Yeah.
Which, like, is probably a better option than Mendy. And then you've got, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Alisson...
Greg was saying this the other day, and I do agree. Like, that extra 0.5, I think Rye was saying it too, that extra 0.5 on the keeper, just, like, you could... Yeah, it's almost worthwhile because they're so much more guaranteed of a clean sheet than any other team in the league.
Yeah, I think Alisson did quite well on bonus points last season as well. He was a top-scoring goalkeeper. So, yeah. And then obviously that is like a cheap route into the Liverpool defence if you can't afford like a Trent or a Robbo.
Yeah.
Obviously he's not going to get any assists or anything, although he did score that goal that season.
And you've got a lot of good fixtures early on the season, especially at home. I mean, I suppose that's Liverpool and Man City. So
are they home to Bournemouth? Does that say that? Yeah, they've got Liverpool and City are home to Bournemouth in the first few weeks. So
like, that's the only thing between Alisson and Anderson. I can flip a coin. I don't really know. It doesn't.
I guess you're probably. Yeah, it really is a flip because I was thinking, you might want to save a City or Liverpool player for an outfield player, but who would you have? I guess if you've got Trent, a lot of teams will probably have Trent, Diaz, and Salah obviously in which case you couldn't have Alisson. Whereas with City, you're probably going to have one of KDB or Haaland and Cancelo. So you can probably fit Edison in a bit better.
I think looking at last season, Alisson came out 21 points on top.
Yeah.
Which is quite significant. So I think, over the two, I'd probably go Alisson, but that is a way that I might go. But it doesn't solve that problem of then you've got to basically play someone out of KDB, Neto, or Nico Williams. Like one of them has got to play.
Yeah.
Which it's not the worst thing in the world. Like Neto, it could be an alright option. So could KDB. I always mix up KDB and KDH. KDH, Leicester's Varane De Bruyne. I think he's had one full season in the Prem now, and he's getting better, and he's going to be playing every week. The only thing is obviously Maddison's ahead of him, so he's not like a super attacking midfielder, but he still, I think, will get his fair share of assists and probably the odd goal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just whether I'm comfortable playing one of them, basically. I think, obviously, the other thing is, obviously, a lot of people have got Trent and I've got Cancelo, but I think I'm not, as long as I've got Alisson and Matip, I'm not too concerned about that, I think.
Yeah.
But then, is Reece James going to be worth it at 6 to start with?
I mean, his points per game is good, and we know that he's on corners a lot of the time and free kicks. So, he has got some big hauls for us in the past, hasn't he?
He has.
Yeah.
I mean, you look there. So, I mean, Chilwell was on 7.9 before his injury, which is.
I know.
I mean, is he fully back fit and playing?
He's played in pre-season, yeah. I think he's like splitting the minutes with Alonso. But obviously, once the season starts, then I'm sure Chilwell will be first choice. And while there's no Champions League games, so it's just one game a week, you could probably rely on the fact that there's going to be less rotation in the first few weeks. So I
think Greg had Chilwell in his team, which actually I didn't think about at the time. But Greg used to absolutely slate.
Yeah,
he was one of his big hates. And we did get a good price for him. I still think that, it makes that more interesting now that they're the same price. And if he's back fit, then maybe Chilwell. But I think just until I see him fully back, I'll probably stick with James.
Yeah. I guess with Chilwell, this might be a bit overthinking it, but I'm sure Sterling will be starting on the left and he likes to come inside. So you can see Chilwell getting in on the overlaps. Whereas who plays in front of Reece James? Probably Mount. So they're both right-footed, so it's kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah.
You could sort of look at it like that, but
that's pretty good insight there. I like that, dude. I like that. That's looking deep. I like it. You're talking a lot of sense. That 7 point. It's a bit of an outlier, isn't it? Because he obviously got injured quite early on in the season, didn't he? It must have been. How many games did he play?
How many minutes did he play?
Well, he played 540.
Is that it? So he played about 5 games.
Yeah, 6 games. Yeah, 6 games, let's say. So, so obviously that does skew the points for Matchbix. He wouldn't he wouldn't have been able to keep up that average all season, obviously. But still, it shows how good a start he got off to.
Yeah. I got a feeling that we've looked good in pre-season, but Palace away has always been a bogey fixture for us, and I can see us, not getting off to the greatest starts there. I'm just wondering if Jesus people will panic and sell him after one game if he doesn't score.
I'm not too concerned about that because I think he's a very good I don't think he's one that you have to worry about for a while. Just leave him in there, and I'm sure he'll bring the returns. So even if his price goes down, I won't mind too much.
We've got Bournemouth. Bournemouth have got a horrible start.
What's City,
got
Liverpool, and Arsenal.
City, Liverpool. I don't know who else they've got, but yeah, definitely those three.
Obviously, you signed Zinchenko. Are we?
Yeah.
Is the expectation he's going to be a midfielder or a fucking defender or what?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that. Like, the thing is, as much as I've slated Xhaka over the years, he has been bloody good. That second half of last season, he was one of our best players. I think Arteta does rate him and Partey together. So I think he will play some games there, but it'll depend on like Xhaka getting suspended or injured. I think he's probably more likely to play left back. And if he starts off well, I think Tierney might find it hard to get back in because I haven't really seen Tierney get any better since we signed him. He's good, but I'm not sure if he's the sort of player that I think Zinchenko is a better all-rounder.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and he's just spent a lot of money on him. I think Tierney, he is very injury prone as well, isn't he? And
he is. I wouldn't be surprised if someone come in with like I've seen him being linked to like Real Madrid before. If someone come in with a big offer for him, I wouldn't be opposed to letting him go. But yeah, all the big teams now have got such big squads. It is making it harder to work out who the starters are going to be for sure. And then it's just like when you've got players that you know will play every week and do a job. It's like, do you, stick or twist?
A 5 mil Zinchenko over, could be a decent option instead of Trippier in that team. I don't think I'll do it straight away, but could be one. Tavares, I've seen, is basically on his way out. He's
going to Atalanta,
Is it? Yeah. So a straight up battle between him and Tierney for left back, but I'm sure he'll be the one. And I bet Arteta knows him from City as well. So
exactly.
That funds him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the Harry Kane thing. Are you genuinely thinking about that? Doing that? Harry Kane over Haaland?
Nah, but like just if it gets to the point where like City have a run of hard fixtures and he's not been playing that great, then I might swap it for like the odd week if Kane's got like a really great fixture.
Who was it? Paddy the Baddy went in the UFC press conference. They asked him, he's a big Liverpool fan, and they asked him about Nunes, and he was like, "What's going on? Nunes is going to be way better than Haaland at the start." He said Haaland's like always injured. He's really injury prone. Like, is he? Like, I think he has had stints like not playing.
Yeah. But well, if he's injured, just take him out. I'm guessing he wasn't talking in fantasy terms, but
no, I don't think so. No.
But Nunes, I mean, he is one to keep an eye on.
After he scored that 4, it did start going through my head like, if you save that 2.5 and you went for him over Haaland, then you could definitely have Salah and still a very strong midfield.
Definitely, yeah.
So
I think Jota's still injured, so he is pretty nailed on to start at least the first game.
I mean, I think
the thing with Haaland is if you can have massive FOMO, aren't you, if you don't pick him?
Yeah, for sure.
That is probably one of the main reasons he's in my team.
Yeah. It's just he's too big to ignore. But
like you said, if you you can play it a bit safe the first few weeks and pick a squad that is like very highly selected, so you're not going to be losing too much ground early on. Get your captain choice right, and then as 2 or 3 games pass and you get a better idea of how teams are shaping up, then you can start exploring from there. The wild card is going to be interesting as well, like Rai said, with having a wild card before the World Cup and then being able to make unlimited transfers during the World Cup. I usually play my first wild card quite early anyway. I did sort of say to myself I would leave it longer this time, but now that I know there's that World Cup shenanigans, I still probably play it early.
It's like having 3 wild cards this season, isn't it? You've basically got an extra one, so you might as well. Well, you can use that first one basically any time. It all depends, innit? Because if your team's doing like shaping up nicely, then you can sort of keep it in the bag. But if you're clearly missing out on points, then it's always tempting.
You could do what Reedy does as well, and if you want to build cash and like a few unknown players, like not very highly selected, do well the first week, do a wild card, whack them all in while everyone's keen, and they go up a couple of like 0.2, 0.3.
Yeah,
and make a bit of money early on, but
it's not a bad shout, is it? Because it does come in handy having that extra money to spend at the end.
It does. I just find it distracts too much from the main focus of the game.
Yeah, you start over complicating it really, and there's a good like. It does happen often where someone has a sick first week, everyone jumps on him, and then he doesn't do fuck all for like the next like 2 months. So
I think Dennis was one of the ones last season.
Yeah, there's still talk of him moving to a Prem team, isn't there? But I don't think he.
Oh, he's still at Watford, is he?
I think so, but yeah, I think he's been linked with a few, but not
maybe a good time to pay the wild card might be after the transfer window closes, because obviously what's that, the end of August? So then, there'd be a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Get on Plonge.
Get on Plonge. I'm going to go and watch that hat trick video now. See what he's saying.
I'm like, I follow not religiously by any means like Arsenal youth, and I've never heard of it.
So, never know. It could be the big one that you missed out on. Like you never know. All right, cool. Then we'll end it there. So the Charity Shield this weekend. Prem starts next weekend. So the next show we do will be the last before it all kicks off.
Yeah.
Unless we squeeze in 2 next week. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
We still need to. I still need to set up the head-to-head leagues, the 2 leagues.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll open the first one, send it out to 20 of the more regular listeners, get them into the first league, all the people who were in it last year, and then open the second one and try and get as many people to join that as possible before the season starts.
Yeah.
So I'll get on the first one this week and we'll start filling that up.
Yeah.
All right, cool. For everyone else, get in the league if you're not in already. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, cheers for joining, lads.
Safe. That was a good turnout. Good turnout.
Yeah.